Okay, so the standard or objective that we are talking about today is TEK 4.2D. The I can statement that goes along with that is I can round whole numbers to a given place value through the 100,000th place. So before we start that practice, I want you to have a guide in your journals. Okay? So on this journal page that I have provided for you, the first column asks us to round each number to the nearest 10,000. Okay? We always want to underline the number in the place value that's being rounded. So if we are rounding to the nearest 10,000, we are underlining the number that's in the 10,000th place. What number is that on this first example? 34,523. Okay, what digit is in the 10,000th place in this example? 3. Okay. So we are going to underline the 3, and we are going to circle the digit to the right of it. Underline the 3 and circle the digit to the right of it. When looking at the digit to the right, if it is 5 or more, we are going to raise the score. So 5 or more, we're going to bump it one more, right? 4 or less, we're going to let it rest, okay? When we do that, every digit that follows the number that was rounded is a what? Every digit that follows the number that was rounded becomes what, Harley? A 0. Very good. So, looking at the 4, what are we going to do to the 3? Jackson.
I think we keep the 3 there and make all the rest of the numbers 0 because
Excellent.
4 is not 5 or more, so there's no way you can actually raise it.
Excellent. Okay, so the 3 rests and stays the same, and every digit following it becomes a 0. Is it on the floor? Is it under your notebook? Did you put it back in the bag, in your pocket? Did you accidentally put it in the tray with your paper? Okay, so in the next example, 47,998. What digit, Jesse, is in the 10,000th place? 4. So what are we doing to the 4, ladies and gentlemen?
Underlining it.
We are underlining it. And which digit will we circle? 7. So what is the 7 telling us to do to the 4, Blaine?
Round up.
Round up. How many more?
7. 1.
Okay, so the 4 changes to a what, Elijah?
40,000.
So you weren't listening to any part of that conversation? Serenity, what happens to the 4 if Blaine tells us we have to round it up? If Blaine tells us we have to round it up, what happens to the 4? What does it change to? Kennedy? A 5. Thank you. You only bump it up one more, ladies and gentlemen. What do the rest of the digits change to, Ramsey? Zeros. Happy birthday, by the way. Okay, now we have a larger number. 124,323. what are we doing with, or which number is in the 10,000s place that we are going to underline, Abby? The 2. Very good. Brian, what number will we circle? The 4. Candace, what is the 4 telling us to do with the 2? No. Let it rest. So we are going to actually keep the 2 and the 1 in front of it because that's not being rounded. Everybody understand that? So after we write the 1 and the 2, what comes next? Zeros. Make sure you always put the proper amount of zeros. Okay? Our next example is 892,221. Jesse, what number do we underline? 9. Olive, what number do we circle? 2. Harley, what is the 2 telling us to do with the 9? Nothing. So what are we going to write, Elijah?
We are going to write 2, we're just going to leave it in. So, what? We're going to round down.
No. William? William, what are we going to do? Okay, never mind. Blaine?
You're going to keep the 8 and the 9.
Thank you.
And everything else turns into 0.
Thank you so much for paying attention. I appreciate that.
So 890,000.
Correct. Okay, y'all do the next one on your own. Right there. We're not going to have this day in and day out. Grow up and act like fourth grade.
Yes, you always round from 1,000. Miss Audrey, this is one where we do
Nope, this one is asking just around to the nearest 10,000. So remember, you're only rounding to the number that it's telling you to round to.
Okay, do you want us to do all the rest by ourselves or just
Nope, just the last one in that column. All right, so those of you that followed directions and did what you were asked, what number did you underline? Jesse? 3. What number did you circle? Davy? And what did that 5 tell us to do with that 3, Elijah?
to round up.
Okay, and when we round up, what do we change it to, Brian? Uh-huh. If we're rounding this 3 up, what does it become? Guys, bump it up 1 means we add 1 to that digit, right? So what does the 3 change to? Serenity?
4.
Thank you. So now we have 1, 2, and 4. What follows that? Kennedy? All zeros. And I like to put my commas in as I go so I don't end up with too many zeros. Now we're going to change our direction. We're still rounding, but now we are rounding to the nearest 100,000. Okay? The nearest 100,000. Exactly. So the first one doesn't have 100,000, but we still going to underline that spot, right? Because the digit that follows that place value is going to tell us what to do with it. So what happens when I bump up a 9? I mean a 0, sorry. When I bump up a 0, what do I get? Jesse?
1.
A 1. Right? 9 is telling us to bump this up. Well, this is 0. So if I bump it up one more, I add 1. And then the rest of them from the 9 all the way back are zeros. Everybody understand that? Yes. That was a great question. Okay, Serenity, in our next example, 145,697. Which number am I going to underline to round to the nearest 100,000? 100,000. Which digit is in the 100,000s place? Excellent. Which digit is going to tell that one what to do, Candace?
It's gonna tell it to
Nope. Which digit is going to tell that one what to do? Jackson?
The 4.
The 4. What do we do with the 4?
Circle it.
We circle it. These are helpful tools to help us with a visual of what numbers or digits we are working with, right? So, Candace, back to what you were trying to say. The 4 is going to tell the 1 to what? Rest. Excellent. So that means it stays the same and everything else becomes a 0. So even a number as large as 145,697 would round down to 100,000 if 100,000s was the rounding place. Okay? How about this next number, 365,458? What digit do I underline, Blaine?
3, and you circle the 6.
Okay? Harley, what is the 6 telling us to do with the 3?
Add 1 more.
Add 1 more. So we change the 3 to a what, class?
4.
4. And everything else becomes a
0.
0. Okay? Bless you. 994,128. What digit gets underlined, Elijah?
Underline the 9 in the hundreds, thousands place, and to circle is the other 9.
Okay. And what does this 9 in the 10,000s place tell me to do with the 9 in the 100,000s place?
Add 1 more.
Add 1 more. So what's going to change that to?
10.
10.
which would be 1 million.
So we have to make sure we understand that it's a 10 because we still have to add these zeros. This 9 became a 10, which threw us another digit and another place value, right? But I still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros to follow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wouldn't that turn to 1 million?
It sure does. All right, last one. Let's see if we can get this challenge. What digit gets underlined, William?
6.
What digit gets circled, Ramsey? Try again, baby. Okay. Davy, what does the 7 tell us to do to the 6? Round up. And when we round up, class, what do we change it to?
We add one more.
We change it to a 7. Thank you. So we are going to have a 2 and a 7 and what else? Zeros. Okay?
If you think of it, it's like turning that 6 and that 7 and just swapping it around, except that 6 is going to turn to a 0.
Yep. All right, so you may not need to cut this because I did make it small enough to go into your journal. However, where you see the dotted lines right here, those are cutting places. So once you actually get it into your journal, everybody look up at the screen. You see the words round each number at the top? From there up is where your glue is going to be, but not down here behind these boxes. Okay? So you're going to take your glue and you're going to put it behind the round each number and behind the title. Okay? Then we're going to cut and fold like an accordion. Cut and fold like an accordion. Were we missing anybody today?
No, ma'am. And we don't use the left side to the paper.
Correct. Right side only. Once we get it glued in, you will cut along the dotted line. I like to cut right down the middle of it. Right side only, guys. So look, once you get it in, these are going to be free, right? And then you're going to fold on each dark line. And it's going to kind of make an accordion style pop-up. You just fold on each line, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. My folding isn't too straight right now. It's a lot easier to do the folding once it's glued in because it will stay a little bit straighter. But basically you can start at the bottom and fold that one up and then fold the next one under. Fold the next one up and the next one under. You can use mine, but they'll have to go in the tray for sanitation on the bookshelf behind you where you're sitting. Oh, not you. Up there. So when I'm done with the folding process, it kind of reaches all the way up to my title. But when it's in my journal, I can pull it down like an accordion.